Good morning. Welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Friday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. Thanks for joining us this morning. I hope you have your green on for this St. Patty's Day. I had a really good plan of wearing a cute outfit, but those best made plans. Nonetheless, it is a great morning and we have a great show in store for you. Coming up, we are sitting down with lawyer Kevin Kennedy. He's going to talk with us about the consequences of getting a DUI. Statistically, St. Patrick's Day, this particular celebratory day, is one of the heaviest drinking days. So we want to make sure that you are staying safe, that you and your loved ones are safe on this day, and kind of a reminder to make sure that you have a phone number for a designated driver or you have one with you, the number for a taxi, Uber, or Lyft service. Also today, we're talking with our financial advisor about retirement and what you need to do to set yourself up for success in those retirement years. And then we are rounding out our show today with highlighting one of our very own at Main Street Media, Devon O'Day. Devon was recently told that she would be inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame for the class of 2023. And we have video of the moment that she was told that this was going to happen. And it's one that we are so happy and excited to share with you because Devon is so well deserving of this honor. But first, let's get a check of our headlines. Changes are being considered to a law that could hold back third graders based on their TCAP reading scores, which is set to take effect this year. Teachers and parents, they have criticized the law that passed in 2021 requiring third graders who score below met or exceeded expectations on the TCAP to either repeat the grade or attend a summer reading camp or a tutoring program. Well, this week, key House and Senate committee approved Senate Bill 300. What is this and what would it mean if passed? Find out by going to mainstreetnashville.com. TriStar Northcrest Medical Center is continuing its effort now to invest in the healthcare needs of Robertson County. In addition to the traditional OB care starting in April, the hospital will have a 24/7 midwife program, allowing women in the community to receive OB care closer to home and with a personalized and comprehensive care experience. Now, TriStar Northcrest is also expanding surgical capabilities. You can learn so much more about the hospital's efforts by going to robertsoncountyconnection.com. Fireworks can now be displayed on Christmas in Spring Hill, Tennessee, while adding the potential for permitting on certain religious holidays, but restricting them on Memorial Day. The vote was part of a larger fire code update, which also included much needed safety updates that outline the standards that are otherwise not addressed in other city codes. Read more in Chris Yow's article, his report at mainstreetmurray.com. Okay, so it is a little chilly and wet this morning for some of you. Others may not be seeing any rain right now, but to let us know what is ahead of us today on the St. Patrick's Day and the rest of the weekend, we have the Tennessee Valley weather.
Callie Rawson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check at your Friday forecast. We have been seeing a lot of rainfall, a lot of thunderstorms overnight, but we are finally going to wrap things up, heading towards mid-morning showers, moving out of southern middle Tennessee. Just a few, maybe around lunchtime, but after lunchtime, I think we are done with the rainfall, but colder air will be filtering in as the cold front moves through, so making way for a chilly Friday night, but we do start to clear things out and dry things out just in time for the weekend. Heading into your Saturday morning again, it will be definitely on the chilly side with winds out of the north, but we will still see a clear sky and we will stay dry for the rest of your Saturday, and we will stretch that into Sunday as well. Here is your 7-day forecast from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Again, just a few lingering showers or thunderstorms for the rest of this morning, but then we do dry out and cool off for the remainder of today. This weekend looking nice but chilly. 48 for Saturday, 43 for Sunday, warming up by the time we get to Monday, which is the first official day of spring. A few showers possible on Tuesday, and then we warm up by the middle of next week.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. A very important topic to touch on this Friday. We're talking about, of course, St. Patty's Day and then why you should not be drinking and driving. We know this, but laws are extremely strict to tell us what the consequences could be if you're busted. We have Kevin Kennedy with us today. He has Kevin Kennedy Law Firm here in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Thank you. To be with you today. Thank you.
Happy to have you. What do we need to know?
Well, the real world is, so many basic ideas. Drinking and driving will bring more grief, agony to you and your family than you can ever imagine. It's also embarrassing, and you're going to be arrested and you're going to be booked. And they say, well, why can't we just get a citation? Because that's not the way they do it. And so you're pulled over, you're arrested. On the field sobriety test, many times they can pull you. I am a teetotaler. I never did drink. And so I might even be reluctant to do some of these things because I don't want a misunderstanding. So I'm telling the word to the wise, don't drink and drive. It costs too much money. You're fined. It's minimum jail incarceration on the first time. You say, wow, I didn't realize. Well, this is Kevin Kennedy trying to tell you about those things.
The law has changed quite a bit from back into the 90s and gotten how strict it is now. This is what you want to keep in mind, that fun is not worth it.
Well, there's also one of these, there's so many laws. Everybody says, Kevin, how do you know all these laws? You learn those laws usually when you're in it. They have what's known as a DUI by allowing. So if you were riding over there and you allowed a driver to drink and you knew that, then you likewise could be charged.
No kidding.
And then, if there's other people in the car, you could get a reckless endangerment. And quite frankly, if somebody had a car wreck and someone was killed, you're facing a vehicular homicide charge. So it's not worth it. Agony. So you understand, just be responsible.
Financially, what could it cost someone?
Well, first off, if you get arrested, it depends on what degree. A first degree has a minimum $250 fine. Then the second degree, it goes up. Jail time, minimum 45 days. Third time, minimum 120 days. Up to 11 months, 29 days in jail. You said, well, I don't ever see that. You don't see what we see in the real world. And so then if there was someone killed, then it gets down, whose fault was it? And not only that, you're going to be sued. Almost every one of these, the lawyers, when there is a DUI and there's a serious injury, then the lawyers are all looking, saying, okay, we've got them. Absolute liability. It's not a question if we collect, it's a question of how much they're going to get.
Mr. Kennedy, thank you for all of this information. So again, as you're planning your St. Patty's Day celebrations going out, make sure you have a sober driver. Make sure you have the numbers to taxi, Uber, or Lyft services, or don't drink at all and just have a mocktail.
Yeah. Have a great time. They were always telling me, say, Kev, you always act like you're, I said, well, I'm high on the Lord usually most of the time. And so I'm just high energy and I've got the blessing of enjoying the life and knowing the Lord. So that's really who I am. Bring me a Coca-Cola and a water, but I do like a little unsweet tea.
Coca-Cola is always good. Mr. Kennedy, again, thank you so much.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
Hi, I'm Stefanie Miller from Mornings on Main Street. Join us March 23rd at Bridgestone Arena with the Nashville Predators for Main Street Media Night. I know Devon O'Day will be here.
You know I will be, Stephanie. Plus, you can register for a Predators prize pack. They were going to call it the Hockey Hootenanny, but they changed. So that it's going to have 4 tickets and food vouchers. You got to register to win.
We're looking forward to seeing all of our Main Street Sports Today fans, right, Chris?
Absolutely, we are. And we could not do this without, of course, our owner, Dave Gould, and our friends here at Smashville.
Speaking of,
Where is Dave?
we will see you March 23rd for Main Street Media Night. Let's go, Prince!
Do I have the wrong night?
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. This morning, we're hitting some more financial topics for you. The topic is setting yourself up for success with retirement. To answer our questions, or at least my questions, which are ones I hope you have, we have Ben Smith. He's our financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. First off, Ben, thanks for coming back.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Oh, cool. Well, so let's start with the first question. What are the best ways to set ourselves up for success when it comes to retirement time?
Great question. Definitely the first step is always to be saving some of the income that you have coming in every month.
Okay.
There was a great book that was written about 100 years ago, but the financial principles in that book are timeless. And one of those principles is that every time you receive money, you need to put some of that somewhere else so that it can grow.
Mm-hmm.
The number the author uses is 10% of your income.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that every time you receive monies, you take that 10%, you put it somewhere else so that it can grow, so that down the road, you can leverage that money back when you need it.
Very nice. Okay, then what about, say, so that's income versus need in there, with any more on that subject matter from any other experts? So like saying if we don't have 10%, some of us may not have 10%. What do we do if we don't have that? Any percentage, would that work?
Absolutely. You know, I think there's this concept of you have to go from 0 to 100% immediately.
Okay.
And that's definitely not the case. Most people, we do these things in steps where we identify, hey, here's an opportunity where maybe you can cut back, or maybe here's an opportunity where you can be more efficient. Years ago, I used this term with clients where let's just put a check mark next to this year. Let's make a positive improvement this year, and we can be happy with that. And next year, we're going to come back and we're going to put another check mark next to next year. So whatever steps you can do now, absolutely go ahead and do that. Does your car need to get to 60 miles per hour within 4 seconds? That would be great. It might not happen this year.
Very true. All right. Well, what about the education of investments in retirement? Like, how do we educate not only ourselves, but again, many people out there have families and children, and they want to teach them the best ways. Where do they turn?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as a dad with 4, soon to be 5 kids running around, it's a question that's always present on my mind too. One of the questions I like to ask people when I'm having a meeting with them is, what did you learn about finances from your parents? And one of the items that's always always stuck out to me is that people don't talk about what their parents told them. People talk about what they saw their parents go through. And so if there's something that you can do today to educate your children, regardless of how old they are, I would start by getting your financial house in order. Again, maybe it's not everything is clean cut and perfect this year. Maybe you're taking steps, but as you're getting your house in order, relay that information to your kids. As you're learning lessons, as you navigate a circumstance, even if there's some negative or embarrassing aspects with it, when you've got capital that you can leverage, and that capital is there because you were disciplined and you saved your money and you didn't touch that for the wants, you kept it there for those needs. That's a very powerful example that you can give your kids.
Very nice. I like that. So is there a right amount to have for retirement?
There's not. That number is going to be different for everyone.
Okay.
And I'm sure that some viewers have heard the phrase, you need to have $1 million to retire. And
many times.
And that's just not true. Okay. Now, the bad news is you might need more than $1 million. Oh. The good news is maybe you need less than that. Okay. But to give you an example of like some of the how to hone in on what is right for you is go back to that first question. What can you do now to get yourself set up for retirement? One of those items is to get your identify what those income sources will be, such as Social Security. Maybe it's a pension. Maybe you have an annuity that you can leverage as well. And then start comparing those income sources to what you know your expenses are going to be.
Okay. There's
going to be items like travel. Maybe it's going to be healthcare. Maybe you're going to be spending different because you're not working 40 hours a week, right? But know what your income sources are, know what your expenses are. Now, let's say, an example, 2 people have Social Security of $4,000 coming in every month, but they're going to be spending $6,000 every month. That means that there's $2,000 every month or $24,000 every year that we need to get from somewhere.
Okay.
There's an old rule. It's a little bit antiquated called the 4% rule. And the idea there is that you can pull out 4% of your investments year over year without suffering too much risk of the accounts being depleted over time. I say it's antiquated because people live longer now. Returns in the future may not be as great as returns were in the past. And there's a handful of other nuances in there, but most advisors will use 3.5%. So going back to our example, you need $24,000 every year that you have to supplement your Social Security or your pension with. Well, 3.5% means that you're going to need to have about $700,000 across your investment accounts to be able to provide that $24,000 every year. 3.5% of the portfolio. There's some additional nuances there with how is that money getting taxed. But the main idea here is that there's not this mythical number that we have to research and figure out that applies to all Americans. Best way to figure out what's right for you is to dig into what your finances are, understand that, and then start looking at how many assets will I be able to turn into income once I get to those retirement years.
So much great information right there. Ben, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Hopefully that helps some of you out there. Say if someone's like, I have a few more questions. Could I reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you or your company?
Yeah, I'm here in Clarksville. I've got an office over there right off of Memorial Drive. But there's websites, there's emails, and you can certainly just do a search for Northwestern Mutual or Benjamin Smith here in Clarksville and find me.
Awesome, Ben. Thank you so much for that. Thank you guys for sticking with us through this. Stay with us right here because we do have more coming up right after this.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare, when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
Hi, I'm Stefanie Miller from Mornings on Main Street. Join us March 23rd at Bridgestone Arena with the Nashville Predators for Main Street Media Night. I know Devon O'Day will be here.
You know I will be, Stephanie. Plus, you can register for a Predators prize pack. They were going to call it the Hockey Hootenanny, but they changed. So that it's going to have 4 tickets and food vouchers. You got to register to win.
We're looking forward to seeing all of our Main Street Sports Today fans, right, Chris?
Absolutely, we are. And we could not do this without, of course, our owner, Dave Gould, and our friends here at Smashville.
Speaking of,
Where is Dave?
we will see you March 23rd for Main Street Media Night. Let's go, Prince!
Do I have the wrong night?
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Well, now it is time to see the moment that our Devon O'Day was informed that she would be inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame class of 2023. This is a beautiful video, and if you're not familiar with Devon, look her up because she has quite the background in both broadcasting, radio, and songwriting in Nashville, Tennessee. Now time for the video, so take a look.
Definitely do not want to put what is known as a tender perennial in before then. They have some things that are a little bit more along the lines of, I can take it a little bit more hearty. Well, hi.
Kathy Martindale has joined our show.
I was supposed to be a guest on today's show.
You
didn't know that?
I didn't, but
I thought it was supposed to be a cooking show. I brought a recipe.
Well, you can talk about herbs with us.
Yeah, we'll clip some herbs. We'll just put you right to work.
Well, actually,
do you know Kathy?
Yeah, hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hope you're doing well.
Yes. Well, anyway, yeah. No, I wanted to bring my favorite recipe.
Oh, well, you can bring your favorite recipe, and you can watch. She's telling us when to plant our herbs. Hey,
Mona didn't tell you I was going to be here.
No.
Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so
No,
I guess we do recipes.
Huh? We're going to do recipe in a second, but you want to stay around for this?
No, I'm allergic to that. It looks like ragweed to me. Is that ragweed?
It's rosemary.
Yeah, you need some farming lessons. I can tell you that right now.
No, my recipe. This is my favorite recipe card too.
Okay, well, what is it?
Yeah, it's well, where's the sugar? I need 2 cups of sugar.
Okay, I'll get you sugar.
And a lot of spice.
Okay, I'll get you some spice.
And a heaping helping of fun stories with singers and songwriters. It's such an interesting. Oh my gosh, you love your audience and they love you so much. And Devon has such a giving heart. I mean, you do everything for the community and you MC for charities. You do so much for other people. So you're one of the most beloved personalities in all of radio. And today, you're going to make me cry, girl.
I'm going to start crying.
And today, we celebrate you with one of the highest honors that radio can give you. From now on, your introductions will always be, ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer, Devon O'Day! Girl, you made it. You're in the class of 2023!
Okay.
No money in it. It's just a card.
I was
Wait, you gave me a recipe. It's a recipe for tears right now. Thank you.
Recipe for success, and she is the best. She is the best, and it is about time. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
love
you.
Love you.
My sister, my friend, and Pamela Ferg, you get back in here.
I can't get in there. No, it's yours. It's yours.
Well, thank you.
There you
thank
have
you.
it. Devon O'Day, everybody.
Devon will be inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame on July 29th. Stick with us here in Mornings on Main Street. We have a little bit more coming up right after this.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour. It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around. I didn't think there were any cops around. I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Tell me your name, sir. Do you know who you are right now?
Welcome back. So for those of you out there celebrating St. Patrick's Day, you have to eat at some point, whether it be today or the rest of the weekend. So I wanted to find out some of the most popular items on St. Patrick's Day. The pictures that you're about to see, they were provided to us from Sean, the owner of McNamara's Pub in Nashville, Tennessee. So here's what you have. He tells me that their Scotch eggs are extremely popular, but the other dishes would include steak and Guinness pie, shepherd's pie, which is one of my personal favorites, corned beef and cabbage, of course. Also want to note with corned beef and cabbage, today is National Corned Beef and Cabbage Day. Surprise, surprise there. And then Irish stew. And then the most popular item that he says that they serve on this day, fish and chips. Okay, and let's talk about wearing green today. I don't know where your green is or if you have some on. If you don't, maybe go grab a little green because you don't want to get pinched. And you're probably thinking, pinched, why would someone pinch me? Well, that's the thing for St. Patty's Day. If you don't wear green, you're going to get pinched. So here's their tradition of pinching those who don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day. It comes from the belief that wearing green made one invisible to the fairies and to the leprechauns out there spreading mischief. These legendary creatures, as cute as they are, were known for their pinching, and those celebrating the day would pinch those who didn't wear green as a reminder of just what could happen, or, you know, maybe just to impersonate a leprechaun or a fairy, but they were showing them what could happen to them if they didn't wear green. And that said, if you're going to pinch someone on St. Patrick's Day, well, be gentle, or better yet, maybe ask before you pinch. I think that's a good idea. Ask before you do it. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Be safe this weekend. Again, make sure if you are planning out to go celebrate, have a designated driver, or make sure that you have a phone number to your local Uber, taxi, or Lyft service. Again, have a blessed one. We hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday morning.